This week in the NFC East.
We need like war drums, like the mighty NFC East.
In the so underwhelming NFC East, we're going to see the Philadelphia Eagles against the New York Giants. Jimmy, who you got?
This is hard one for me too, because I like Eli, I like Tom Coughlin. I want to believe the Giants are going to do something better than what they've shown us thus far this year.
You like interceptions?
I don't like turnovers. Okay. That's what they're doing. Philly, in the first half against Washington in Week 1, looked like they were going to change offensive football in the NFL. And since then, it has been a nosedive. Literally, since the second half of that game. Washington won the second half.
That's true.
There's no prize for that, but I have a hard time with this one. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles are the better football team right now, simply because I have some faith they're not going to turn the ball over 4 to 5 times. So I'm going with Philly, but I have mixed feelings about this one.
I think Philly's got a better quarterback. I think Philly's got a better running game. I think they got more consistent receivers. And I don't think what we saw last week in Denver is indicative of how bad they are, or in Kansas City.
There are going to be a lot of teams that look like that against Denver.
Hopefully not the Cowboys next week. But I'm going with Philly. I think Vic's going to get the job done, and Eli Manning's probably going to throw about 3 more interceptions.
And he'll have his dumb face on.
Eli has a permanent dumb face. I don't think he can help it.
That's mean of us, isn't it? That's cruel. That's bullying. It's true, though. It's totally true. And there is a phrase, dumb face. We didn't make that up. I didn't make it up. Did you make it up?
No.
And Eli Manning has it.
And he was born, that's just the way his face looks.
It seems mean, but it's true.
It happens.
Carolina Panthers, 1-2, coming off the bye. They are they're going to visit the Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona put out a good win last week in Tampa Bay. On the road.
Let's be real. Greg Schiano hand-delivered a win. Why were we throwing the football?
Well, listen.
I don't even understand.
I think Greg Schiano's days in Tampa Bay are numbered. I still don't understand why Raheem Morris isn't coaching that team. And I also don't understand why Josh Freeman isn't starting. They're putting out a lot of speculation throughout the league.
But they're airing all his dirty laundry.
Oh, yeah, but according to him, he's taking Ritalin failing test because of that. And he said that he volunteered to get tested about 46 times. That's a lot of times.
Rough year for Josh.
Yeah, and hopefully next year he'll be with a new team. Hopefully before the end of the year he'll be with a new team. But that game, I'm going with Killer Cam, Carolina Panthers.
I'm with you there. Much better team than people give them credit for. Solid defense. Cam Newton is a wonderful weapon on offense. I have no problem going for the Carolina Panthers. And that brings us the big house in Dallas, the house that Jerry built. What a GM too. Before we even make our pick here, can we applaud Jerry Jones and his efforts as a general manager?
No.
And his keen insight and the handling of the phenomenon and the elite quarterback who is known as Tony Romo. Ask Jerry, he'll tell you.
I think Tony
Romo.
Listen,
straight
guys,
from the heart.
I'm not gonna turn my cards in just because we lost to the Chargers last week, which was a crushing loss because, it seemed like a game that was really winnable. But the games that seem like they're winnable are the ones that Romo typically drops the ball on. So, and I mean, let me not say typically, literally drops the ball on.
I think I saw one of those one time.
And I don't want to pile up on them just because we lost last week. But against the Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning, do I realistically expect the Cowboys to win this one?
I hope not.
Oh, yeah?
I hope not.
Oh, yeah, I'm going with them Cowboys. Oh, yeah.
What is the scenario where this happens?
The scenario...
Do you see in your mind's eye, do you see Romo out-dueling Peyton Manning?
No. But just like Big Ben, I think Peyton Manning's going to wind up getting carjacked. And that means 7 points on our side. Therefore, I'm hoping we run back a couple of interceptions for touchdowns. And I'm actually going to tell you guys right now, Peyton Manning's going to throw his first interception this week against Dallas. You mark my words.
I'll wager that he doesn't throw his first interception and he throws at least 3 more touchdowns. At least.
Well, I already know he's going to throw those 3 touchdowns. So he's going to do that every game this season. The offensive line is protecting Peyton like he's the president. So I think that the Cowboys is going to wind up pulling out this W regardless of what the numbers say, regardless of what the so-called experts say. I just got a feeling. This is not the same kind of feeling I had last week.
2-2 at 2-2. It's the Houston Texans coming off that tough loss against Seattle, facing the San Francisco 49ers, who also know a little bit about tough losses to the Seattle Seahawks.
Well,
this is a tough one to pick. These are 2 good teams.
Let me ask you this. Of those 2 teams, which one do you think is the most disappointing?
I want to say San Francisco because I think more was expected of them.
One defending NFC champion.
But when you look at the way Houston has lost, I mean, we've had 3 games in a row, costly turnovers, pick sixes no less, 3 in a row.
Big ones.
Arian Foster, I just don't understand. Like,
he's playing hurt.
No offense. Well, yeah, and no offense to Ben Tate, who is a quality running back.
He's good.
Give Arian Foster the football and set that man loose. I know you've got Andre Johnson. We're going to throw to him. I know you've got Owen Daniels at tight end. We like him. We're going to throw to him. Ben Tate, I'm sorry, he just needs to take a back seat. Get him in there when we can here and there, but this notion of equal carries or splitting the carries,
not going to work.
We got to feed Arian. We got to feed Arian. We got to let him go. I don't think they do that. I think it's very possible that against this tough San Fran defense, we see another costly Schaub mistake. Maybe he rises above and surprises me, but I'm picking the San Francisco 49ers, and that's not something I enjoy doing.
I'm going on the other side. I'm taking Texans. I'm taking Houston with that game, mostly because the game that the Houston Texans played last week is going to be real similar to the one that they playing this week. But that right there prepared them, and as long as they don't make that costly mistake at the end of the game and decide to give it to Arian Foster, they're going to win.
This week, they come down to that same situation, they run the football. I grant you that.
If they don't, Kubiak ain't going to have a job next week.
San Diego, also 2-2, and they're heading to Oakland to face the Raiders, who you and I both think are a little better than their 1-3 record might indicate. Who do you take in this game?
Well, I think even though Oakland's home, I think San Diego's got this. I just think they're a better team. If Terrell Pryor does wind up playing, I still don't think he has the consistency to lead their team to a win over the Chargers.
I'd still say what I've been saying all year. I think we're seeing the old Phillip Rivers. Like that guy we saw last year and the year before who seemed to have a greater propensity for turning the ball over than slinging those touchdowns. I think that guy's been replaced by the elite Phillip Rivers that we know and love. I'm going with San Diego, and that brings us to Monday Night Football. Big contest Monday night. We've got the New York Jets, who proved us both wrong many times on this show.
2 times.
Taking on the Atlanta Falcons, and the Atlanta Falcons, my man, are 1-3. This is a team that when people started talking about the NFC West, or excuse me, the NFC, there was a lot of talk about the NFC West, Seattle, San Fran, but when people looked outside of that division, the one team on everybody's radar heading into the season was the Atlanta Falcons. They're dangerous. They added Steven Jackson. Tony Gonzalez came back for another round. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Roddy White. There was a lot of buzz surrounding this team, and they played some tough opponents. They're 1-3. Did they get the job done on Monday night?
Monday night, Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta for the second week in a row. You think they're going to lose? No. I think Steven Jackson hopefully will be back, but even without him, they're going to do their thing. I don't think Julio Jones is, first of all, I don't think they're going to require a game-winning drive this week. But even if they do, Julio Jones isn't going to drop 2-3 passes in that drive. So I'm going with Atlanta, mostly because I know Tony G did not come back for this 1-3, and I don't really think that's indicative, excuse me, of what's going to happen in Atlanta this season. I was one of the guys. I actually jumped off the ship. I said that Atlanta was going to the Super Bowl. Right now, that's not looking too good. But just to save face a little bit, I'm definitely picking Atlanta this week.
I'm picking Atlanta this week because they're playing the New York Jets. I still don't believe in the Jets. They've put some egg on my face this year.
It happens.
I can't deny that. But Atlanta at home, 1-3, have to be very, very upset about the way the season has gone thus far. I think exactly what they need is a visit from the New York Jets on Monday Night Football while everybody's watching. I think Atlanta wins big.
Yeah.
This is going to be a blowout.
What you calling on the points?
27-9. 27-9. I'm talking blowout. It might be a lot uglier than that. I'm just going to stop at 27-9 because if we get there, I think they'll slow down.
Well, that's going to mean that the Jets are going to put up about 3 field goals. I think they're going to do a little bit better than that. I think Geno Smith is going to get it in the end zone, whether he does it with his legs or with his arm. So I'm going not very higher on the Jets, just 10. But for the Falcons, I think they're out to prove that they are the team that we thought they were. I don't think once they get this lead, they're going to fall back. I think they're going to try to put their foot on the Jets' throat just to send a message to the rest of the league. I'm going with somewhere around 35-10.
Empty bottle of beer.
We still got beards. It's time for a refill. We'll be back.